she knew no fear, until a human drew. Near the alien woman named Lyra had lived her whole life without knowing fear. Her kind was born on a world where storms never stopped, and the ground itself could open like a wound. She walked through lightning fields and slept under red skies. Her people believed fear was a weakness, something that belonged to other races. She believed that too until the day a ship from Earth fell from the sky. It was supposed to be a routine mission. The human pilot, Claire Morgan, had been sent to chart an unclaimed region near the Orion Rift. The ship was hit by debris, and the engines failed. She crashed on Lyra's planet alone and hurt, surrounded by towering rock spires that hummed with strange energy. When she stepped out of the broken craft, she saw figures in the mist. Tall, graceful, silver-skinned beings with eyes like molten amber. They surrounded her in silence. Their weapons were not guns, but long blades that shimmered like heat waves. Claire tried to raise her hands, showing she meant no harm. Lyra stepped forward, her gaze cold and curious. She had never seen a human before, but she had heard stories. Weak creatures from a violent world, reckless but brave. Yet the woman standing before her didn't look weak. She was bleeding, trembling, but still standing. Lyra spoke in her own language, and the words came out sharp like stone. Claire couldn't understand. She only met her eyes steady and calm. It was not defiance. It was something else. Something that felt like quiet strength. For the first time, Lyra felt something move inside her chest. Not fear, but something close. The others wanted to take the human away. They called her dangerous. They said the humans brought ruin wherever they went. But Lyra stopped them. She told them she would decide what to do with the stranger. They obeyed her because she was a warrior of the highest rank. She had faced beasts twice her size and storms that could strip flesh from bone. Yet when she looked at Claire, she felt a tremor in her hands she could not explain. Claire followed them to the alien city. It was built into cliffs that glowed from the inside, veins of blue light running through stone walls. Lyra watched her every move, half expecting the human to cower or cry. But she didn't. Even when the alien healers touched her wounds with burning salves, she clenched her jaw and said nothing. Lyra stood nearby, pretending not to notice the small pull she felt in her chest. Days passed. The human ship could not be repaired. The alien council wanted to erase all trace of her presence. They feared the humans would come searching. Lyra argued against it. The council reminded her of their law. Outsiders were a threat. Still, she stood firm. Claire had saved a child from the storm that day, risking her own life to pull the small alien from the collapsing bridge. It changed everything. The council saw her bravery, but Lyra saw something else, a reflection of herself. One night, as the red moons rose, Claire found Lyra outside the walls, standing in the wind. She had learned some of their words, enough to speak a little. She said thank you. The words were simple, but they hit deeper than any blade. Lyra looked at her, eyes shining like molten gold. She told her she didn't understand humans. They feared everything, yet walked into danger without hesitation. Claire smiled faintly and said that was what courage meant. To keep walking even when your heart wants to run. The next morning, the sky broke open. A storm unlike any before rolled in. The energy fields around the city began to fail. Lightning struck the towers and the air filled with screams. The council ordered an evacuation. Claire ran toward the power core, trying to stabilize it. Lyra followed her. She shouted for her to stop, but the human didn't listen. She climbed onto the unstable platform, wires sparking around her. She was doing something with her suit's power cell. Lyra could see it would kill her. She leaped forward, grabbing her arm. Claire looked back and smiled. She said one last word, "Live." Then she pushed Lyra away and pressed the trigger. The explosion lit the sky. The storm calmed. The city stood, and the human was gone. Lyra stood in the ashes, wind whipping her hair, feeling something she had no name for. Her people called it sorrow. Her heart called it fear. Not for death, but for never seeing that strange, fragile creature again. She who had come from the stars and shown her what true courage meant. From that day on, Lyra never said she knew no fear, because now she carried it hidden deep inside, shaped like the memory of a human smile.